Hello and welcome to Access UTV. My name's Michelle Edhouse, and today I'd like to talk to you about being able to be in question even when you think you're being told off or made wrong. So what do I mean by that? How often has somebody said something, you've looked at what they've said through your filters, your judgments, your conclusions, and come to a point of view about what they're saying, what it means about you, what it means if they think about you, all of those sorts of things. And then when you make a comment to them about it, or it comes up years later that you're like really upset about that or whatever had been created, they're like, oh, that's not what I meant at all. I meant blah blah blah. And you're like, oh okay. So how many points of view do you have about you and about what other people think of you that keeps you from being able to hear what other people are actually saying? I tell you what, this has been a really interesting thing. It's shown up for me and for clients quite a lot over this Christmas period, and it's been really interesting to be aware of when it comes up for me and I'm like, oh God, how rude. And it's like, oh, hold on a minute, are they being rude? Oh no, that's heavy. So as with all access consciousness tools, if it's light for you, it's right for you. If it's heavy for you, it's a lie for you. So when you start to ask a question like, are they being rude? And it's like contracted and then it means that no, they're not being rude. It's your point of view, that your filters of what you've decided they're saying or what it means about you or whatever, that is making it sound rude. So what examples of that? I've written an article recently for the New Zealand newsletter, and I had them come back to me and say, hey, you know, would you be willing to rewrite this a little bit, make it a little bit more attractive to people who haven't done any access, more accessible to people who haven't done any access? I was like, oh, good point, you know, but there was still something in me like, I'm not good enough, oh, I haven't written it right, and I was like, oh wow, how many points of view do I have running that make it that any suggestions to improve what I've done, change what I've done, or create something different than what I had planned, do I have? And I was like, wow, there was so many points of view, so many places where I had that if somebody suggested you do it somewhere else, some other way, some wrote it differently, be it differently, say it differently, do it different in any way, shape or form, they were making me wrong, they were judging me, it meant that I was bad, terrible, awful and wrong. So does that read for any of you? Have you ever been asked to do something different to what you've planned and taken it as a judgment of you, as a wrongness of you? What if it wasn't a wrongness of you? What if it wasn't meant as a wrongness of you? Maybe it was meant as a invitation for you to be even greater than you already were. Like, how often when somebody suggests that you need to do something different, instead of them judging you as here, they're actually judging you as here and inviting you to be up here. Maybe they're not judging you at all. Maybe they have an awareness of what else is possible. And maybe they are judging you. So would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all the points of view that keeps you from being in the question? Why being in the question? Well, if you automatically jump to the conclusion that they're making you wrong, that you're wrong, that what you've done is bad, that any of that stuff that I've already talked about, then how much can you actually see what they are inviting you to? Or can you see whether or not it's actually them just being a judgmental and what you've done is totally fine, and they can't see it, they can't receive it. So there's like, when you're in conclusion or judgment of yourself that you're not good enough, that what you've created isn't good enough, whatever that is, when somebody else mentions it, brings it to your attention, talks about it, you already have the point of view that you're not good enough, that what you've done isn't good enough, and you receive what they're saying from a place of they're judging me, because you're already judging you. So what if you didn't judge you? Then whatever they say comes in, and you can ask a question. Is it actually required to change this? What would be created if I changed it? What would be created if I did it the way they're suggesting? What else is possible? Is there another way, even beyond what I've done and what they're suggesting, that would be even greater? But if you're already judging you as bad, terrible, awful and wrong, can you be in that question? Can you be asking those questions and receiving that information? I don't get you can. So what magic can you be? Now, a good friend of mine in the States is running a year of Interesting Point of View group, and I'd love to invite you to that group. Now, I've talked about Interesting Point of View on this before, and if you are willing to look at every point of view that shows up and goes, interesting point of view, I have that point of view, then you can actually start to see where it is just a point of view, and you can open up possibilities. So on that group, she's going to be offering suggestions. It's for a whole year, and Gary Douglas says if you do Interesting Point of View, I have this point of view for every thought, feeling and emotion for 6 months, you'll be free. Why not do it for a year? Come join us on that group. I'm definitely in. And how much change and possibility is available when you're being willing to be Interesting Point of View about everything. So if somebody rings you up and says, hey, can you change this? Instead of going, I'm bad, terrible, awful and wrong, it's like, that's an interesting point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, they have the point of view that I need to change this. Interesting point of view, interesting point of view, interesting point of view, until it is all just an interesting point of view, and you can then ask a question. Will it create greater for me to change this? Yeah, it will. Okay, cool. And what else is possible? And who else can I have contribute to me changing this? You know, that article, I was like looking at it going, I wrote it. I think it's pretty good. You know, interesting point of view. I have the point of view that it's pretty good. And who can I add to this that will allow me to create it even greater? So my beautiful husband Glenn and I sat there in bed this morning and rewrote it and created an even greater space. And I was like, okay, cool. And what else is possible? So then when I sent it back, the amazing Liam said to me, this is doing really well. Great. Can I make a few suggestions? And I was then able to go, yes, because I had been cleared away by using the Interesting Point of View tool, those points of view that I had that I must be wrong, that if it's not right. Because what if there is no right and is no wrong? What if it's all just an interesting point of view? So I'll put a link in the description below to the a year of Interesting Point of View, or IPOV as we call it. And it's a Facebook group, so if it is light and expansive for you to come and play on that, please do. And what else is possible when you're functioning from no point of view and you can receive everything, judge nothing, and create what's going to create the future you desire? Cheers.